Good morning, everyone. We are 3 days out from the Toronto Pro, and we got here. It's our first day. So had a decent flight yesterday, just kind of a longer day. Run my off-day diet. I don't like to train on the days I travel just because flights get delayed, things happen. It's already a lot to do and unpack and etc. And we did get delayed a little bit, so it worked out. Today will be my first carb-up day. So we're going to walk you through what I eat in carb-up and also go train here shortly as well. This is I've gone through the carb-up period for a while, doing all these shows, so I have a lot of data I've collected, doing refeeds of what that does to my body weight. So looking at my visuals this morning, you can see them here is my fasted shots, which it's kind of a repeat almost of Legion for me. The day I traveled, I hit down back to my body weight low, so I was 230.0 this morning. Feel a little flat. Definitely time to put the carbs in. I like starting now 3 days out because from past data, I ended up having to do an extra day of carb loading, which was a lot of food the day before the show. So ideally, I'd want 2 days of carb loading, 1 day to bring food back down to baseline and to where I just maintain it. Then I don't have to eat a lot into that show day. It keeps my waist really small, and you can maintain a carb load on a smaller food amount. Quality pics in your hotel room. I'm going to give you some golden nuggets here for what I did. So for one, you can see my setup. If I turn around, I can black out this curtain, but I have my small rig light here, which that's a small rig. Maybe you can't see it. Maybe you can. RC120B. And then what I have down on the floor is my Canon R7. So if we were to step back, I can do my photos here, and behind me will be my camera and my light kind of pointed at like a 45-degree angle, which you can see in the videos. It casts like enough shadows to grab some detail, but not so much to where it's hard to assess. And so I can standardize my lighting with it. I pack that in our extra suitcase, and just even if I'm tan or whatever, natural light won't be an issue. The artificial light won't be an issue because I can control it well. So get yourself a setup if you want. Like, it's a great way to standardize your pics. But anyway, I've got my rice cooker going. Pack that with us too. So I bring a lot of stuff already on hand, though. All our dry goods. We bring like our mini rice cooker, so we can just get rolling here the next day. So we'll start getting our meals in. I'll walk you through the day and we'll carb up. Okay, meal number one. So what I've done for planning out my day is based on my last refeeds. Like, I've been doing 600 grams of carbs, and usually that can bring me up about 1.5 pounds, but I know I need to push this a little bit higher for where I want to be. And off my past data from my last show, like Legion, I was doing 120 grams of carbs per meal. So I want to be a little bit more aggressive this time. So I'm going to do 140 grams of carbs per meal. And for my other macros, 50 grams of protein and 10 grams of fat. So I'll do that across 6 meals for the day, starting with meal number one. So what we have is, I have my like kind of savory plate, then also like my sweeter setup, but be 150 grams of egg white, total 350 grams of white rice, 2 slices of white bread. Then I have 50 grams of banana and 20 grams of whey mixed in like a rice pudding, and 15 grams of peanut butter in that. So that totals up to the 140 grams of carbs, doing half teaspoon of salt with all my meals a day. So I won't repeat that because that's going to be standardized across it. And I log everything in chronometers, so I can see all my micronutrients, sodium, potassium, and I'll just log as I go and kind of work in the macros that way. All right, guys, we're at Fitness 365 in Toronto, Canada. Doing a push session today. So being on a normal push setup has a bit more of a slight delt focus. Start with like a lateral, then an incline press, do some tricep pressing work. So walk through this session, see what we got. Pretty much normal volume, normal effort, nothing really needs to change just yet. Right, first exercise was the Panada standing lateral raise. It's been a long time since I've had a standing lateral machine raise. I do like it. For one, the Panada pieces are pretty ergonomic and line up biomechanically well. The position-wise, you can keep this really in the scapular plane, like out in front of you a little bit, so it feels really good.
not binding the shoulder up. Did 3 sets here. Normally doing 4 sets, so I did pull back 1 set volume-wise. And now we'll move on to some incline press we'll go find. With the incline hammer strength press, just an OG. I try not to vary off equipment that I'm not used to. That's when you come in, you find something new, you want to use it, and you get injured doing something that takes you outside of a range you're used to training in. So I've been used to training with the incline hammer strength, so I went with this one. Just doing 2 sets here. Do a top set, and I'll back the load off just a little bit. Keep the reps up slightly on the second set. Right, so my tricep bias press was a prime flat press today. So it's a neutral grip, which is one that I've been familiar with. The prime piece wasn't too ideal. It was a little bit narrow, a little hard to get in. However, I just loaded that bottom peg a little heavier, so made that bottom position also the one that's probably the most precarious from an injury perspective to lighten the load a little bit there. But just did 2 sets here. All right, moving on to an isolation movement, doing a Panada pec fly. Haven't used this machine before. What's kind of nice is they do have a pedal to bring the load up to start off from not such a stretch position. But hit 3 sets on my chest fly. Next exercise was just a cable push down, simple, doing single arm, so it lines up really well, and 3 sets on the tricep push down. And that wrapped up the session for today.
All right, back to the hotel, having post-workout after training. Really happy with the visuals after 1 meal and about 3/4 gallon of fluid in. Looked sharp and crisp. Up about 2 pounds since my fasted weight, which also I could walk on stage like that and I feel like I would be very happy. Meal number 2. So similar setup to meal 1. It was just so good. So I'm just going to repeat that. Digested really well. Doing not egg whites, but 90 grams of chicken with 200 grams of rice and some mustard and ketchup in that. Then for dessert, we'll be having 150 grams of rice, 15 grams of whey, 50 grams of banana, 10 grams of raisins. So I found some at our hotel breakfast, complimentary breakfast, and 10 grams of peanut butter. Then also 1 Rice Krispie treat. It's a lot of stuff that I've used in previous peak weeks and digests really well, easy, keeps food volume managed. So meal number 2. All right, got done shaving. So starting going to put a tan on 3 days out using the Norelco 1 blade. If you haven't been following me and know, this is awesome to not have to lather up, shave with a straight blade, and that takes forever. This you can get close and your tan will look solid with it. And so what I'll do today is I'll tan and rinse and then shave again, tan, rinse, and just repeat that. And then on show day, I'll have my final coat and should be pretty dark that way. But on to meal 3. So these meals got a little bit spread out. I am not sure I'm going to be able to fit 6 meals in a day, which is okay. I'd rather not push food and get overly uncomfortable. I have my next day that I can carb up with, so perfectly fine. Weight's up another pound. I just need to make sure by the end of the night that I'm getting heavier, a little heavier than that 236 of what I normally have been going to sleep with. So if I'm around 237 or so, that'll be solid, especially for 1 day out. So try to get enough food in to where that sticks on that Friday. But anyway, I ran out of rice, but I had almost the amount. So I had 325 grams of rice, but I'm basically splitting up my same meal. So 90 grams of chicken and 200 grams of rice in this container. Then my dessert container is, I roll my eyes. It's like people are going to give me shit about having all this weird food variety, but hey, you can enjoy it too. This is 125 grams of rice, 50 grams of blueberries, 50 grams of banana, and 10 grams, 8 grams of peanut butter in this one. And then to fit in the extra carbs, I'm just going to do 2 Rice Krispie treats with this meal. All right, so Renee I went to the grocery store for Tino's, which sounds like an Italian restaurant up here, but it's actually a pretty well-stocked store, and loaded up on a few things. So I got some more white rice, we got some rice cakes, some variety of rice cakes, got some more pre-cooked chicken that we needed, and a couple condiments and things. But anyway, came back, weight's not going up much, so going to push this food meal up a little bit higher in food to 170 grams of carbs and 20 grams of fat in this meal. Still 50 grams of protein. So what am I having? Well, I'll have my normal setup, 200 grams of rice and 90 grams of chicken. This also came across some G. Hughes Polynesian. Canada came through. I'm glad they had some of that. Then we'll have 200 grams of rice in this one with 15 grams of whey, 20 grams of nut butter. And then what I will drop into that one too is 50 grams of banana and 20 grams of dates. Start like doing dried fruit just for one, it has extra potassium in it, but also they're condensed. And so I only do so much rice volume. And then what's fun to eat as just a topper I'll have 2 white cheddar rice cakes, and I found a chocolate caramel one. And I know some of the stuff has some sugars in it, but again, in the context of having 170 grams of carbs, you're going to have to do some things that are a bit more concentrated and dense. And if you're going to do them, this would be the time too, but only if you need them. So put this meal in, and should probably get one more for the night, and likely I'll probably have to make sure I get 6 meals in for tomorrow. All right, final meal of the night, and I have a coat of tan on, and it looks really good. So I'm excited for, hopefully I'll be dark on stage and not splotchy or some weird thing that shows up. But anyway, weight's still not sticking much, which just means needs more food. And also tomorrow I'll make sure that I get the 6 meals in, depending on how I wake up. But what I'll do tonight is just do a lot more food before bed, which is absolutely what I don't want to do for show day. So I will correct that part of it. But anyway, for this meal, what I'm doing is I've logged pushing carbs up to 215 grams for this meal, 70 grams of protein and 25 grams of fat. So this should stick a lot more. I do have, so we got rice, but we didn't make more rice. So I have 250 grams of rice and 90 grams of chicken in this. Then I made some cream of rice, which is 70 grams dry weight measured, 50 grams of banana, and also 20 grams of dried cranberries and 30 grams of whey. Love dried cranberries. They are quite delicious. Also throw in these 2 Rice Krispie treats for something just to keep it dense. And then these 2 white cheddar rice cakes as toppers for my savory part of my meal. I know these meals are like elaborate, but it's fun. I enjoy it, and also digest extremely well. So totals for the days, guys, for this first part of this carb load came out to 5,045 calories, 280 grams of protein, so bringing protein down from my normal 330. Carbs went up to 810, so I planned 840, so I actually got really close even with 5 meals. And fats was at 76 grams, so I pretty much nailed the macros of what I planned, even though I only got in 5 meals. However, realizing that I might just need more food, but we're 3 days out, so that's why I started this early, all because of this. But hope you all enjoyed seeing what I eat for the day. Leave me any comments, questions down below, and talk to you next time.